there guys, and welcome to a Dash of Sports Premier League review game week 9, and I'll be your host and presenter Dashiki Dash. And as per usual on this show, I'll be giving you roundups and results from all the games from this past week. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and make sure that you lock into this week's episode of the main show itself, a Dash of Sports, where I'll be talking about all things sports related, hot topics and trending stories. But in the meantime, let's get into these games. So welcome to a Dash of Sports Premier League review game week 9. I'm back, you're back, and the Premier League is back. Let's put the international break behind us, man. All that international football. I've literally been pulling out my hair. As you can see, I had to shave it off. But hey, I'm so glad that the Premier League is back. And as per usual, as you know, I like to work my way backwards into the week that's just gone. Starting off with Monday's games. Starting off with Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Now, you always hear me saying this, but it's true. Crystal Palace's inconsistency is so annoying. Before the international break, they beat Leeds 4-1. A fantastic goal from Eze opened up his goals account with Crystal Palace. And you're thinking to yourself, yay, listen, come back from the international break against Burnley, who are they're not setting the league alight this season, not looking like the Burnley of old. So you're thinking to yourself, Crystal Palace is going to this game and they're surely going to win. Well, Crystal Palace came back from the international break with a bump as Burnley secured their first win of the season against the Eagles. Sheku Kouyate's early mistake allowed Chris Wood in to score the Claret's first goal of the season before Sean Dyche's men dug deep to secure all 3 points. Now, Crystal Palace without Wilfried Zaha, you know it's a different ball game for them. Well, he was left at home isolating after he tested positive for the coronavirus, which meant that Palace were unable to break down their hosts. Now, like I said, Burnley dug deep, well-deserved win and a much-needed win, man. Not just the 3 points, but just a win in general because, like I said, this is not the Burnley of old. Usually we see Burnley fighting mid-table and Sean Dyche has got them well drilled, but this season I think they only made one signing, if that. I think it was a loan move as well. So they've done nothing to their squad. They've not improved or enhanced it really. So it's going to be very difficult for them. And if they're not careful, if they're not getting the points, we're coming into the Christmas period now. If they're not picking up points quickly, they could also be sucked into the relegation battle. And then moving on to the last game of the day, the late kickoff between Wolves and Southampton, which ended in an entertaining 1-1 draw as Theo Walcott scored his first Southampton goal for almost 15 years. The on-loan Everton forward netted for the visitors for the first time since January 2006, only for Pedro Neto's leveller to deny them the victory. But although we're celebrating Walcott, making his way back home to Southampton and scoring his first goal within 15 years or so, he had some chances though, man. He actually had a chance to make it 2-0 at one point. That 1-1 draw denied Southampton to climb into the top 4, but sitting in 5th position at the moment isn't too bad. And they're doing quite well because previously I feared for Southampton playing this very, very high line and persisting on playing that very high line. I thought to myself, coming into the season, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But the Southampton manager has persisted and persisted, and it looks like it's paying off at the moment. How long they're going to be able to keep this going, I don't know. Usually with teams like this, Southampton, once their first 11 starts breaking down or so, injuries start setting in, then you start seeing Southampton falling by the wayside. But so far so good, and if they can get the early points in now, you never know when it comes to the late charges. And now moving on to Sunday's round of fixtures, Fulham versus Everton. A game that saw 5 goals and a dreadful penalty miss as Everton beat Fulham 3-2. As Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored 2 goals out of the 3 for Everton at Fulham, with the home side missing a 3rd consecutive penalty. Now, when it comes to penalties, I think Fulham have just got some serious bad luck. Or it's just the fact that their players are whack. You had last game where Lookman tried to take what I can best describe the most weakest Panenka I've ever seen in my life. And then you got this week where you got Cavallero, who I don't know if he's trying to aim for the crossbar and in technique or his top bins, but whatever he done, he did that David Beckham slip where both feet literally just slipped underneath you and the ball went over the bar. Now this was a really good game to watch. 5 goals all round, with the first goal coming by the way of Dominic Calvert-Lewin literally within the first minute. A real scrappy goal that was passed across the box. He knew nothing about it and it come off his foot and went in. His second goal, kind of similar again, another tap in, and literally this guy will score any kind of scrappy goal, but I like it though. He's there in the right place at the right time. In between those two goals, Fulham scored their first with a goal from Bobby de Cordova-Reid with a nice tidy finish. It all started off with like a 1-2 exchange. Then the ball was played into Bobby de Cordova-Reid. Nice first touch into the box, and then he slotted it into the far post. And then Everton extended a nice 2-goal cushion with a goal from Decore in the 35th minute, which looked like it was going to be a comfortable win for Everton. And then in the 70th minute, Ruben Loftus-Cheek scored to make it quite a nervy end to the match, but Everton managed to hold on to win 3-2. Now, if you look at that scoreline, you think it's a 3-2, Fulham probably had a chance to win the game. Nah, definitely wasn't that kind of game. Everton were cruising throughout the match, and then pretty much being 3-1 up, took their foot off the pedal, and then Fulham scored 3-2 to make it a little bit interesting. But all in all, Everton had it all under control. And now moving on to Sheffield United versus West Ham, as the Hammers blunted the Blades, winning 1-0 in a real competitive match, thanks to a second half thunderous strike from Sebastian Haller, only he's second in the top flight this season and first for West Ham from outside the box. Now, it was a mixed bag of who can hit the woodwork the most, as West Ham's Declan Rice, Sheffield United's Ollie McBurney and David McGoldrick all struck the woodwork during an entertaining encounter, while West Ham's Thomas Souček and Jared Bowen were all guilty of missing great chances to score. While West Ham rose to 8th in the Premier League off the back of that win, while Sheffield United remained rock bottom of the table after their woeful start of the season continued with an 8th defeat already. And then moving on to the next game of the day, Leeds versus Arsenal, which ended in a scoreless draw. And now you know how I feel about 0-0s. I don't care who's playing, especially the fact that my team was playing, they're still going to get the same abuse. 0-0 scoreless draws in the Premier League, it's a no-no. But listen, slow down. The fact that Arsenal are my team, I got to take some positives from the game. Considering that we escaped with a point under the circumstances, I might just take that. Well, I'm going to take that. Well, 10-man Arsenal hung on for a 0-0 draw at Ellen Road after club record signing Nicola Pepe was sent off in the 51st minute. VAR officials spotted that Pepe headbutted Alioski, and referee Anthony Taylor took a quick look at the monitor before brandishing a red card. Now, I was going to rip into Pepe, you know, I was going to rip into him because I was just thinking to myself, you have been crying about, oh, I need to start, I need to be started. And everybody alike as well been like, you know, he's been performing in Europa, he deserves his start. And then you go and do something as stupid as that. Now, the reason why I said I was going to rip into him and I'm now going to hold back is because he's come forward to apologise and somewhat explain the reasoning behind just the stupid act. And the only thing that we can hope for now, the only thing that I can hope for as an Arsenal fan is the fact that after he's banned, he can work his way back into the squad and then start performing, man. He just needs to start performing. Like, you came for a big fee. Now, I know that's not his fault, but at the end of the day, you need to be playing and performing at all times at a consistent basis. So let's see, man. You've been talking a lot, Pepe. Now it's all about backing that chat. Can you raise the levels? Well, anyway, back to the football, and Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds had been the better side even before the sending off, with Patrick Bamford twice forcing Arsenal goalkeeper Bernd Leno into action. Leno yet again pulled off an incredible save as he kept out a fierce-driven shot from Stuart Dallas, and then substitute Rodrigo crashed a shot against the bar from the edge of the area. Well, with the sending off of Pepe meant it was a slight shuffle in the formation, but then later on Saka then also came on to make a real good difference. Like, he actually had a chance to put Arsenal 1-0 up, but just tried to go around the goalkeeper and just didn't calculate his angles. The shot was then close enough to the goalkeeper to save, and we missed the opportunity to go 1-0 up, which would have been a real smash and grab if that goal went in, but unfortunately it wasn't. So a point is 0-0, with an Arsenal heading back down to the Emirates with just only a point, which all in all at the end of the game is looking like a real valuable point, because, man, I don't know what's going on with Arsenal right now, but it needs to change quick. Arsenal sitting currently in 11th place with very few shots on target, no goals. in like what, 4 matches or so. The last goal Arsenal scored was in the 1-0 win against Man United, and that was a penalty. Aubameyang has just dried up with goals. No one's scoring for Arsenal. The attack is woeful. Arteta, man, El Jefe, you gotta fix up. And then moving on to the late kickoff of the day, the champions Liverpool versus Leicester, as the Reds set a new club record of 64 home league games unbeaten with a 3-0 victory over high-flying Leicester. Brendan Rodgers' Leicester side had won all of their away games in the Premier League this season, but were outclassed by the champions, who made light of their injury problems. And you remember what I said about Liverpool and their injury problems? They ain't nothing to worry about. They're still going to be able to perform at a high level. Klopp has got them well drilled, and even though Liverpool's level was up here, and with the injuries to Van Dijk and the Gomez and so on, their levels just dropped there. They're still competing with the likes of Spurs, Leicester, Southamptons, Chelsea's. They're still competing. Hey, Johnny Evans' own goal set the ball rolling before Diogo Jota scored for a 4th home league game in a row. And then Roberto Firmino added a 3rd late on to seal the win that sends the Reds level on points with Tottenham Hotspur at the top of the table. And then last but not least, moving on to the games on Saturday, which were the first fixtures since the international break. Starting with Newcastle versus Chelsea. Timo Werner shrugged off his international embarrassment after Germany lost 6-0 to Spain, who came back to inspire Chelsea to extend their red-hot recent form with a 2-0 win over Newcastle at St James's Park. After the international break, the £50 million forward was the shining light against Steve Bruce's Premier League strugglers, as Chelsea made it 5 straight wins in all competitions. A 10th minute own goal by Federico Fernandez helped the visitors on their way before Werner's brilliant solo charge in the 68th minute queued up the simplest of opportunities for Tammy Abraham to effectively seal the victory. There was one bright moment for Newcastle after Sean Longstaff hit a stunning 30-yarder shot that hit the woodwork, but apart from that, yeah, it was a comfortable afternoon for Chelsea. And once again, you know, the whole debate at the beginning of the season was whether or not Lampard is going to get this team working together and how quick he can get his signings playing together. And so far, so good. It can't be debated that he's doing a good job. Now, the next match, man, I could just say it's bittersweet for me. Bittersweet. Because these are the situations where Aston Villa's gone and beaten Arsenal 3-0 before the international break. And then the next game, they go and lose 2-1 to Brighton. Aston Villa versus Brighton, as the Seagulls won at Villa Park for the first time in their history, deservedly edging Villa in a dramatic and entertaining encounter. Well, it all started off with that guy Welbs. Danny Welbeck scoring his first goal for Brighton. A real clean finish. He went through on goal, charging on one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and the finesse and the finish. Keeper went to ground. He managed to dink the clown. Goal, 1-0 to Brighton. That was then followed by a second half equaliser by Konsa. And then Solly March's second goal of the season was a delightful curling finish, which cancelled out Ezri Konsa's sliding equaliser to give Brighton all 3 points. All of that happened before a frantic period of stoppage time that saw Tariq Lamptey sent off for a second yellow card. And then a decision to award Villa a penalty for a foul by March overturned after referee Michael Oliver consulted the pitchside monitor. Now, many are saying that it was a penalty, and very few that I'm coming across are saying it wasn't a penalty. I'm not sure, but the only good thing is the fact that the referees are going to the monitor and they are making their decisions. So there can't be really many complaints in regards to how VAR is being used. It's all, even if it's done by the referees at Stockley Park or it's done by the referee at pitchside, it still comes down to a human decision, a human error, whether, you know, the decision goes wrong. If it goes right, then you congratulate the referee for doing a good job. If it goes wrong, then you're on to the referee. Ultimately, there's no robot, there's no machine that's making this decision. So we just got to live by this new wave of VAR. Well, Tottenham are top of the Premier League for the first time in 6 years after a statement win over Manchester City. Jose Mourinho's side further enhanced their title credentials as goals from Heung-min Son and Giovanni Lo Celso secured a 2-0 win over Pep Guardiola's side. Mourinho marked his 1-year anniversary in the job with a trademark tactical masterclass as his side nullified City's attacking threat and were deadly on the counter-attack. And that's literally it. That's how they play the game. You know, they soaked up the pressure when they needed to and scored the goals at the right time. Tottenham's first goal put City out of whack. That finish from Son was precise, it was on point, and it was clinical. That meant that City had to go and search for the equaliser. And Tottenham were able to soak up the pressure. At one point during the first half, though, I thought to myself, if Tottenham don't score this second goal now and City scores, this game is going to change. Lucky enough for Tottenham, there was a goal disallowed. We don't know how the game would have went after that, but the goal was disallowed. And then in the second half, City once again applied the pressure, but best way I can describe City in this game, they were toothless. They were doing everything but threatening the goal. And then the substitution was made. Lo Celso comes on and literally on his first touch, bang, goal, 2-0 up. And then that game was a wrap for City. Tottenham were leading 2-0 and then there was no way back for City. So what does this now mean for Tottenham Hotspur, who are riding sky high at the top of the table? Do they believe? Do they finally believe that they can win the Premier League? I don't know. Right now they're in a real good position, and all I can say is if we lead up to the December times and Tottenham are still in and around, you know Mourinho will find and adopt the tactics more than capable of winning something. Whether it's the league or a trophy of some sort, he is going to be putting himself in the best position. And listen, there's no one better at winning a trophy than Jose Mourinho. And last but not least, on today's roundup and review of the games, the late kickoff on Saturday between Manchester United and West Brom. Man United recorded their first Premier League home win of the season as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer secured 3 much-needed points against West Brom at Old Trafford. Solskjaer was under pressure ahead of the international break after 2 defeats in a row, but then United beat Everton 3-1 at Goodison Park to ease the strain of the manager. Even then, there still wasn't no let-off for United as they entered the weekend's action 14th in the table and they just about got the 1-0 win over West Brom. Now, West Brom had a penalty earlier on in the second half which looked like a stonewall penalty, but then the referee went and consulted the monitor and it was determined the fact that Bruno Fernandes, who committed the foul, just touched the ball before he touched the man, so that was deemed no foul. But then later on in the half, the referee pointed to the spot after Juan Mata's cross hit Darnell Furlong's hand, leading to Fernandes stepping up for a penalty that Johnston saved. But then West Brom's celebrations were cut short as it was deemed that the goalkeeper strayed off his line to save the penalty. Although Fernandes missed on his first attempt, he weren't making that mistake again. Swiftly dispatched it 1-0 to United. Yet again, another penalty. But hey man, legit as it was taken, missed, then they scored 1-0 to United. And like I said, much needed points for United. That was their first win at Old Trafford. So 3 points, first win at Old Trafford. Maybe possibly easing a little bit of that stress of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It looks like Solskjaer's on a game-to-game business right now. Win today, lose tomorrow, then there's going to be issues, right? But I don't know, United fans, are you lot still Ole out, Ole in? Let me know, man, because it feels like a situation where it's just going to be up and down for United for the rest of the season. And for Slaven Bilic, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to last. I really don't know if he's going to last. It's really looking bleak for him. Yet again, another defeat. And where do they go from here? West Brom are really going to have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to be able to continue with Slaven Bilic, because we're coming into the December period, and if they can't get these points, surely they're going to be looking at relegation. And that's a wrap for today, but let me know if there's any standout moments, any games that you liked or you didn't like, you enjoyed or you didn't enjoy. For me, I don't know, man. I'm going to start off with a bit of a negative. The whole Pepe situation, yeah, unnecessary. Left Arsenal really wanting, lucky enough they got the point, but still, it's kind of a what-if situation. What if Pepe stayed on the field? Maybe it would have been an opportunity to get all 3 points. Standout moments, I would say Liverpool winning 3-0, beating Leicester. Many of people would have thought, you know what, Leicester would have at least giving them some type of trouble, considering Liverpool's injury record right now. And what else? Danny Welbeck scoring his little dink. Chelsea winning 2-0 against Newcastle. Timo Werner looking sharp, looking ready, looking good. You let me know which of those games or moments that you liked. Put your comments down below and let me know. But either way, let me know how you felt about this week. Did your team win? Did they lose? Did they draw? And also, how well are they doing so far this season? I know that there's a load of Tottenham fans right now. Living la vida loca right now. But let me know, man. Put your comments down below and let me know. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And also make sure that you check out the brand new episode of A Dash of Sports. That's the main show itself, A Dash of Sports, episode 32, where I talk about all things sports related, hot topics and trending stories. Well, until the next time here on A Dash of Sports Premier League review, peace.